You can't make decisions because you don't make choices. You're going out in the world and see everything as a decision, and that's not the case. And let me explain you why. A decision is what you actually made after you lived it. That's it. That's the secret. But most of us, we panic. We think, oh my gosh, if I take this job, I'm going to be stuck there forever. I'm going to die on the desk. But that's not reality. That's just a choice. What you can do is you can go to the job, see if you like it, and if you don't like it, you can leave. It's not present. To be transparent, I feel your anxiety. I feel like I have to make all these decisions, but I realize quickly it's not decisions that I have to make. It's just choices, because the decision comes after I experience this, and after I've made and lived through it, I can make a decision and not before that. And it's the most relieving thing. We are constantly taught to make a decision now, but all you have to do is make a choice. You want to go out, eat alone for the first time. You're just terrified. What if the waiter pities me? What if he thinks I got stood up? What if I'm sitting there and everyone's going to look weird at me? What if you go there and you actually enjoy it? What if you go there and you actually feel like, oh, no one is pitying me. Actually, I have a great time. No one's eating my food. I can order whatever I want and I'm sitting there in peace. That's when you make a decision to go again. And when you say, you know what, this felt kind of awkward, I don't want to do it again. That's a decision. But you have to make a choice first to go in the first place to get the experience, to be able to make a decision. Maybe you're thinking about going on a date and you're thinking, I don't know, I don't want to make a decision. You're not making a decision, you're making a choice. If you end up going and they talk about their crazy ex and how they invested just in crypto, you can think, okay, oh wow, no, not again, this is not my person. That's when you make the decision, not before you go. That's just a choice. But maybe you're going to say, wow, this is such a kind person. I have a great time. And then you can make a decision, am I going to go again? That is the biggest problem we have. We always think we are making permanent decisions when all we do is just figure out small choices. This is the most freeing concept. I started doing it because I realized I actually wasn't making decisions, because I was just making choices. It wasn't permanent. I could just decide, not for me, and I could pivot from there. It wasn't something that was stuck with me forever. Then I actually had the ability to make a decision, because before you have any experience, before you actually know anything about it, how can you make a decision? You're not informed. You need to be informed to make a decision. Everything else is just a choice. See a choice something flexible. It's a test. Do you like it or don't? Very simple. You don't even have to make a decision yet. That's so freeing. That's so liberating and makes everything so much better, because you don't feel stuck. You know you can pivot at all times. I think this wouldn't be a holistic overview if I wouldn't include opportunity cost. In case you don't know what opportunity cost is, it's the cost that you basically give up by doing something else. Or about decisions that feel permanent. For example, being a parent, or I don't know, a different permanent, getting a pet, something that seems permanent or is permanent. Obviously, these are different scenarios, but generally speaking, I think where most of our anxiety comes are things that we feel will make us stuck forever. That's getting a job. I think that's one of the toughest things that people really, really struggle with, because they think, if I get this job, that's it. I have to stick through. It's not going to look good on my resume. But sometimes you don't even have to work somewhere super long to make that decision. You can make a decision very quickly by seeing after 2 weeks, you know what, I don't like the team, I don't like my boss, I don't like the environment, whatever it is, and you can just quit and find something else and give yourself some grace to do so. And you don't even have to put it on your resume that you work there. It's fine. I wish someone would have told me that earlier, because I felt in my life I've felt like I had to make these crazy decisions, but it was just choices. And if I knew earlier that I only can make a decision, that you can call it a decision, if I have information, then everything would have felt so much more exciting and not so anxiety driven, because I would actually see it as an opportunity to help me make a decision, rather than to stand in front of the wall and say, I have A and B and now I need to decide. You don't. In 99% of the cases, you can try it out, have the choice of doing something, and then make a decision that is informed, that feels well, that you feel informed by. And sometimes things take longer time to make a decision. Don't rush into having to make a decision. Sometimes you need to experience it a lot longer in order for you to make a decision. Sometimes you need to stay at the job for a year to realize you don't want to do it. Sometimes you need to be in a relationship for a year to realize, you know what, not my person. That's okay. You don't need to make a decision today. You need to make an informed decision. That way, the anxiety reduces, everything about that decision will feel right. The biggest learning for me was to realize, even when I was doing wrong decisions, I've done so many wrong decisions in my life, I walked away with clarity. And that is all I need to make better decisions in the future. Any decision that you feel like went south is an opportunity for you to feel like, I learned so much from it. It gives me clarity to make sure that I don't make that decision next time I experience something. I make better decisions. I can rely on me. I can trust myself. That's all you need to know, to not feel scared about making good decisions and understanding you have a choice first before you have to make a decision. And yes, I'm going to acknowledge sometimes you do not have a choice, and that's when it comes in. You have a responsibility, and with that responsibility, you have choices and you can make decisions. I hope that makes sense. Start enjoying, make those choices, and then make your decisions. It's actually really fun because it takes the whole pressure away. And next time you feel like something's weighing you down, anxiety's hitting you, just know you're making a choice, not a decision. You have time. Give yourself grace.